All right. Well, I never thought I would get to say this, but R.L. Stine, thank you for being on Completely Booked today.
Well, I never thought you'd say it either. I'm shocked that you said it.
And what should I call you?
Bob.
Bob? Bob,
Yeah.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
Spookmaster.
No one ever called me RL in my life.
Right.
I think you have to live in Texas to be RL, don't you?
Yeah. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's right.
So your Twitter bio right now is my job is to terrify kids. And if I'm being honest, I had a nightmare about you last night and this interview. So you're still terrifying adults, just so you know. You're doing a great job.
I get to scare a lot of generations.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a very good job.
Yeah. So when did you realize that this is what you wanted your job to be, to terrify kids?
Oh, I never did.
Yeah.
I never planned to be scary. And it's embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it because it wasn't my idea.
Yeah, we heard
It wasn't my idea to be scary.
We heard you
It was
kind of
someone
resisted
else's.
Goosebumps a little bit in the beginning.
Well, yeah, but being scary altogether, because I was funny. I was always funny. I was jovial Bob Stine, and I wrote about 100 joke books for kids. And one day I was having lunch with an editor, and she had a fight with an author who wrote teen horror. And she said, she came to lunch and she was angry. And she said, I'm never working with him again. You could write a good teen horror novel. Go home and write a book called Blind Date. And I didn't know what she was talking about. What's a teen horror novel? So, but at that point in my career, I never said no to it. You just say yes, right? And so I ran to the bookstore and bought up a bunch of Christopher Pike books and Lois Duncan and all these people who were writing teen horror so I could find out what it was. And I wrote Blind Date. It came out like a year later. It was a #1 bestseller. I thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? A year later, I wrote another one called Twisted, and #1 bestseller. And I said, forget the funny stuff. I'm going to be scary. I've been scary ever since.
You're just good at it, I guess.
I think it's fun. It's easier than being funny.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. I think it's a lot easier. People are always ready to laugh.
That's true.
People always want to laugh. They're ready. They're eager to laugh. But it's harder to. No, I'm telling it the backwards, aren't I? I'm telling it exactly backwards. It's very easy to scare people. You just have to sneak up behind them and shout or do something to surprise them. So scaring people is really easy. It's harder to make them laugh. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And how many books have you written so far?
Oh, don't make me say the number. Don't. I'll have to go take a nap. Really. It sounds crazy because I've written maybe 350 books.
It is crazy. That is a lot of books.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I wonder how
It's
many
a
words
lot.
that is. Oh gosh, you probably don't even want to think about it. That is crazy.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what else to do all day. What would I do?
And you're still writing books.
Well, I just signed on to do 6 more Goosebumps books.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, we keep going. It's the 26th year of Goosebumps.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sure
lot.
especially since you didn't want to do it in the beginning. I'm sure you had no clue that it was going to be as huge as it is today.
You know, we put out like 3 of them, I think, in summer of '92, and they just sat there. They just sat on the shelves. And if it had been today with computers, the bookstores would have just taken them off. They'd be gone. But somehow they've sat there, and then somehow kids discovered them. The secret network of kids, and they started telling each other about it. And that's entirely the way Goosebumps got started, just word of mouth. There was no advertising, no hype, no anything, just word of mouth from kid to kid. It was what an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Pretty lucky, right?
Yeah, I remember in school that it was so strange if you weren't in the library going to get Goosebumps, because that's what everyone was reading. And so that's why I started reading them, is because everyone else was like, you have to read these. But I was a little too much of a scaredy cat. You got me good. And I was like, all right, I can't read these anymore. I read a couple and now I couldn't sleep for weeks.
See, kids are very smart, and they know if they're going to like it or not. They know. I had a 8-year-old nephew, Sam, and he was terrified of them. And every once in a while, he lived in New Jersey, and I would send him a book, and I'd say, Sam, I think you'll like this one. It's not too scary. And he called me up and he said, Bob, you know where this book is going, right in the garbage.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Well, you did your job
He
then
said,
if it
yeah,
was too scary.
yeah.
That's hilarious. What about Goosebumps movies? Do you think there'll be any more movies?
I don't know. No one's talked to me. I'm waiting by the phone.
Yeah.
No one's talked to me about Goosebumps 3.
Yeah.
Everyone was thrilled with the way Goosebumps 2 did. Much better than anyone predicted.
Yeah.
So, and it was fun. It was a good movie. It was actually good. You never know you're going to get a good movie.
Right.
Right?
How involved
That's
are
always
you with it?
Not very much.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky when, go see it and it's good. That doesn't happen so often. No, I'm very happy with both movies. I thought they're really good kids' movies. And maybe we'll do more. Jack Black said he's up for number 3.
Yeah.
He told me he was, but I don't know.
We'll see. What do you think about Jack Black? Do you think he did a good job portraying you in the movies?
Not at all. No.
Yeah, you seem a lot.
Wasn't.
Yeah, you seem a lot
We're not
more-
exactly twins, are we?
No.
No. He was actually, he wasn't like me in any way.
Okay.
And he came in, actually flew into New York to meet me, and we had lunch. And he's looking, I think he just came in to look at me, right? And he said, Bob, what in the script is true about you? And I said, not a thing. There isn't anything. And he said, well, I'm going to play a sinister version of you. And that's pretty much what he did.
Yeah.
He was wonderful. He's a great guy, too.
Oh, good. Yeah, he definitely nailed that part of it for sure.
Yeah.
And I want to know, too, is there any monsters or creatures that didn't make it into the book that you kind of had?
That did make it into the movie?
It didn't make it to in any of your books?
No.
No, I was going to
No,
say, I'm
everything
sure
gets-
you've run out, almost run out of ideas.
I ran out 10 years ago. But no one's, don't tell me. No one's listening, right?
No.
No,
We got, yeah,
don't tell anyone.
no one's listening.
No, everything goes in. If I think of a monster, it goes in. There's nothing sitting around.
There's no time to waste any of
No,
those ideas.
right.
How do you keep coming up with new stuff?
How do I? I don't know. That's just what I do. It's just a lucky thing.
Yeah.
Every time I need an idea, I have one. That's just luck, I think. To be perfectly honest, I don't even try to think of ideas anymore. I only think of titles. I just think if I get a really good title, then it leads me to a story. I don't try to think of stories. And so I had a title recently, The Dummy Meets the Mummy. Slappy
Right.
and the
Yeah.
Mummy. And so then I start thinking, okay, that's a good title. That's a good title. What happens? How does Slappy, maybe Slappy's in a museum. Maybe he's come to life and the mummy's come to life. Maybe they're, and that's how I get the ideas for books, from the titles.
It's probably easier to work backwards, maybe.
I don't think
I don't know.
most
I was going to
authors,
say, I feel like most others probably don't do that.
no, I think
That's-
they get an idea and they write, and then later on they think of a title.
And then the publisher changes it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Do your titles ever get changed? I guess
No. I don't know. Do they? No, I don't think so.
She
No,
says no.
That's my own main talent, titles.
Yeah. Well,
Titles. That's typing and titles. Those are my main talent.
That's hilarious. So tell us a little bit also about your joke books that you mentioned in the beginning. So this is what you started with.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
was
ever-
always funny. That's all. I did a humor magazine for 10 years
Oh,
called
wow.
Bananas, which was sort of a mad magazine, all in color. It was great. That was my life's ambition, to do that magazine. I did it when I was 28 years old. And it lasted 10 years. And then I thought, now what? I'm just going to coast the rest of my life. I had no idea
LOL,
what
yeah.
was going to happen. Yeah, I did 101 monster jokes, 101 dog jokes, all those books, 101 school cafeteria jokes. Here's one of my best original jokes. What do you get when you cross a dog with a frog?
I don't know.
You get a dog that can lick himself from across the room. You actually laughed at that.
That was pretty
Well,
good.
You see, you're
well,
easy.
as I'm
You're
like
an
thinking
easy
about it, I'm like,
laugher.
okay, that was good. That was funny. I see that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, what are some of your favorite comedy books or movies? Since you're a funny guy.
I like all the real old stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a huge Laurel and Hardy fan. I have a 21 disc set of Laurel and Hardy shorts. I like all that stuff. And Chaplin and the silent comedians. I like all those people.
That's awesome. And
And
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah. We also kind of want to know, I know you wanted to be a funny person, but we also want to know, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I started writing when I was 9. I really wanted to be a comic book artist. I was a comic book freak. And I drew these comics. I had this character, Super Stooge, who would fly head first into buildings. He was just real stupid. And I drew these comics and brought them in, and the kids all looked. And I'd pass them around, and they'd say, well, you suck. You can't draw. You can't draw. And it was true. I looked around at everyone else's drawing. I couldn't draw. So I had to write. But now I'm back. Now I'm writing some comic books, so that's pretty close.
You are now?
Yeah. I'm doing 4 graphic novels
When are...
for a company called Boom Studios out in L.A. It's a series for kids, Goosebumps age kids, of scary graphic novels called Just Beyond. The first one's called The Scare School, and it comes out in September.
Oh, wow.
And it's like Goosebumps, only in comic book form.
Oh, man.
And I'm having a great time. I'm really enjoing that.
That's so
It's really
cool.
a fun thing for me.
And so you're not drawing them.
No, I hope not. No.
Dang it. They should have had you do something on like the back cover or something.
Yeah, I don't think so. I did a series for Marvel last year. I did a Marvel character, a Swamp Thing called Man Thing. Man Thing, and I did 5 books for them, and that was kind of exciting.
What is the
I
man
like
thing?
He's a swamp monster.
Oh.
He was around a long time ago, and then Swamp Thing took the market away from him. And he was like left in the swamp, and Swamp Thing was huge. So they thought maybe I could bring Man Thing back. But then they never called me after it came out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe people don't. I like swamp monsters. I think it's like basic horror.
Right.
This thing rising up from the muck, this terrifying looking creature, half human. It's like your basic horror. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, we live in Florida, so the swamp monster is
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely scare us here. We have swamps everywhere, and we're
True.
I remember being afraid of alligators too, and that was
Well, you should be.
that was the swamp monster of
Yeah.
my childhood.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so that's great. So you're doing some comic books, maybe another movie.
Maybe.
Well, we're so glad that you're here. And this isn't your first time in Jacksonville.
This is my second book festival.
Right.
I was here a while ago
How,
at the library.
was it this library?
Well,
Was it? Okay, it was at the Prime Osborne. Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So welcome back to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I know, we
we're
like it.
we are really excited.
I always try. I live in New York City, so I always try to get to Florida in February.
Oh, this weather.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Come
Could you
on.
believe it? What is it? 80, 85 today?
I love it. I
That's
love it. It's like
insane.
30 in New York.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is much
So
needed.
this is fun. They have 100 authors.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
great.
I know.
That's
all of
really
our local
nice.
authors. This is like our one time to really celebrate them and help them promote their books. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So that'll be fun.
And we're really excited to have you. And Mike Thaler is here as well. So,
Yes, he's funny.
yeah, I'm excited to meet
Yeah,
him too.
he's good.
Well, that's all that we have. That's all the time we have, I think, too. So thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you, Jenna.
And we
I
are
really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, this was so fun. We're really
That's
glad
good.
that you're here. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.